Hi guys, and welcome to Norwegian Modeling Bench. My name is Kenneth, and today I will be building this Ford Model A standard Phaeton, a model from ICM. It is a 1:24 scale, and it is my first car in ages, so it's definitely not the perfect build, but I hope that it will maybe give you some inspiration and motivation to tackle the same model to support ICM and Ukraine. When I saw this kit on the website the first time, I thought that the box art was really appealing, and I really wanted to buy and build a car from the 30s. So this fitted in to what I wanted to build at the time. The kit itself is nice. There are a lot of mold lines, and I think there might be something with the molding that is a bit skewed because it is a lot of it. That really made a damper on the build, I would say, but otherwise it is quite a nice build. There are, though, a couple of things to be aware of, and that is that the model is lacking a lot of positive connections, so you really need to be a bit aware when you're building. The plastic is also a bit soft, so using liquid cement really liquefies the plastic a lot. The instructions are also a bit well, and not precise, but ICM has building construction instructions also on their YouTube channel, so you should take a look there. There you will be seeing more precisely where parts should fit. So what I wanted to build is this blue car from New York, over New York plates. I figured out that I needed to get a kind of a Washington blue color and a Riviera blue for the trimming. So I have sourced those, found some very similar ones from Tamiya. So we'll be showing that later. And here you can see me struggling with all of those mold lines. There is a lot of work removing mold lines, sanding, and so on. And where there are positive connections, those are actually quite loose. So you really need to be very vigilant when you're building this. Be precise. Check how things line up and so on. Don't rush the build. Just because it snaps into a place doesn't necessarily mean that it is in the correct place. So first off, I'm starting building the undercarriage. Probably has a better name, which is all primed up in black and painted. I'm not doing a lot of weathering on this one. I think it's more or less just some tiny wash that I've been putting on the engine and on the tires. I wanted to leave it more or less pristine. I wanted it to be a well-kept car. I would assume, at least, if you had and could afford to buy such a car in the 30s, you would be quite proud of it as well. So that was my thinking, at least. So here I'm starting out with the chassis, and the separation here is quite nice. This under part of the chassis is in black, so when building that up, you can paint that separately. I used a black color from Mr. Color, a gloss one, and then also a rubber black from Real Colors, or AK Real Colors. And this part is lacking a lot of positive connections. So as you can see, I'm test fitting, making sure that it actually aligns properly to both the chassis itself, or the undercarriage or of the chassis, and also the floor, and also to the rest of the chassis going backwards. You also need to work a lot on those lines that you get between the parts. And I wanted to show off the engine, but in the kit you get the closed hood, so I had to use a razor saw to separate the hood, so I had it in two parts. Not my best work, I have to say, but okay, it is what it is. Then I'm painting up the engine, and based on some pictures that I saw on actually an auction with a Ford Model A, I saw that the engine was greenish, and also it had this dark blue, Washington blue color, where I'm using Tamiya Royal Blue. And then for the trimming, I'm using X14 Sky Blue. And when all of this painting is done on all the parts that needs the blue color and black, I'm gloss coating all of those parts. So using the Super Clear from Mr. Color, using leveling thinner, so 1 part gloss and 2 parts thinner, and adding this layer, a couple of layers before really kind of flooding. Then you get a really good result. For all chrome parts, I'm using AK Extreme Chrome. I had a lot of it, so I wanted to use that. If you have a basis or a base color of black that is gloss, this will give you quite a good result, I think. Maybe the A stand is a bit better, but okay, I had to use this. I can't just have it laying around. And then it came to the engine, and I spent quite a while and enjoying this part. It is really fun detailing engines. So I used some life color engine perfect metal paints they have. Quite nice, I would say, to work with. And then assembling the engine before it was installed to the undercarriage. And then we have the leather seats. So again, I used the auction pictures as a reference, and there the leather seats was kind of orange brown with a red tint. So I mixed up orange brown and a wood grain color from Vallejo. So 70-30 there. Then I used a sponge, giving a bit of life into the leather. You will never see just a uniform color, leather color. And then I'm using burnt umber from Abteilung to give it a final touch of color. So then you get like this deep brown red color in the leather. I'm also using a smoke color to try to give the seams that you have in the seats a bit of that they are visible. It is a bit stark, but when it is inside the car, it would just be one orange brown color, and that wouldn't really show that much. So that's why I did this. And then I gave it all the leather parts a satin varnish. So this is a VMS varnish. And then we have the tires, the dark red or deep red color, which is actually just Tamiya standard red with a couple of drops of black. And then with the gloss varnish, and of course painting out those metal details. And then I wanted it to be a bit dusty. Driving on the road always gives some dust on the tire, so it would just look strange having it completely black. So then I'm adding the leather parts to the inside of the chassis, making it ready to be installed on the undercarriage. Again, as I mentioned before, there are some positive connections on this one, but again, be sure that you actually adjust the parts, because you won't get it perfect otherwise. And then this, I'm adding this in a different sequence than the instructions recommend, because otherwise, if you add the front part with the steering wheel first, you might actually end up with a gap between those parts. And then there are quite a couple of decals, at least for the signs and some minor ones on the dashboard and the bumpers. The decals are okay quality. It's not the best, but it was doable. Then I'm using PVA glue to glue the leather seats into the car. And again, this backside doesn't really slot into those two thingies on the backside unless you give it a bit of a nudge. So again, be careful. So now I'm installing the front part, where we had the steering wheel. So now I'm sure that I actually get a good fit between the two parts. So I would do it at least the opposite direction than the instructions tell you. And I'm using CA glue to give this a good bond. Using liquid cement at this stage, that is quite dangerous. You might ruin a lot of your work. So that's why I'm usually sticking to PVA and CA glue at this stage, at least, of the build. So then I'm adding the front seat. Really, that wasn't any issues in terms of the fit. So just adding those parts to with some CA glue and PVA, and really just following the sequence that is suggested. And as you can see, I installed the steering wheel before when I had the dashboard or the dashboard part freely available. I'm not showing how I installed the hood and the grill. I'm not sure if it's called a grill. It is in Norwegian. So here to give the part a bit more depth, I'm using just a regular panel line. I think it was 2 or 3 layers before getting the result I wanted, at least. So then it is to install the open part of the hood. And as far as I could see from pictures, when you have the hood open, it's more or less in a perpendicular position or 90 degrees. So I think this looks at least okay in terms of the reference pictures that I have seen. Yes, I should have done something to the forepart of the hood. Saw that too late, so please bear with me. Then installing the signs and the lights, just with CA glue, and well, just be patient with this one in the front, just connected to one of the sides before you connect it to the other. Otherwise, it will just keep popping up. So that was again a bit of a, well, it requires some work. And then we have the bumpers, nothing much to it. They snapped in quite nicely in place. And again, I'm using CA glue to connect those. When it comes to the door handles, I have to say this is where sometimes you wonder how they connect things to the sprue. And again, they connected it to the sprue on the most visible part, so that was a bit tedious, and those parts are really tiny in terms of sanding and so on. So thank you ICM for that one. That was not very nice. Also, I haven't shown much of the roof. That is just rubber black color with black supports. So here we have the car on the cobblestone road. please take a look at my my video how I made that one, if you would like to use a similar way of showing off your vehicle. But all in all, I think I'm quite happy about the result. Yes, there are some snags and things that could have been done better, but at least it was a kind of a break from building ships that I've been doing a lot of lately. So, well, something different. So I hope that you liked this one. Please like and subscribe if you do like the content. Give me comments and feedbacks on what I can improve. I appreciate all comments. I try to reply to everyone. So until next time, stay safe.